want to thank all of you for your work. You were able, with lots of other Republicans throughout this island, to mobilise 500,000 voters who have now made Sinn Féin the biggest political party on the island of Ireland. And our philosophy is about putting the interests of citizens, not the elites, at the centre of political considerations. We seek a new republic with equality and social justice at its core. Our watchword is equality. We stand for a very basic threshold of economic justice, the right to a home, to an education, to a job, to health care, to the pursuit of human happiness. Our mandate is for social justice and against unfairness and austerity. It's a mandate also for the promotion of the Irish language as the common heritage of all on this island. It's a mandate for the peaceful unity of orange and green with tolerance and respect for all people. Republicanism, Irish republicanism, is a European philosophy, and Sinn Féin's mandate is also to pursue an independent Ireland in a Europe that respects the right of nation states and is based on the principles of social solidarity. Agus tá policy Sinn Féin bunatha ar na bun luchana public talk seo. During Bertie's time, our representatives were vocal in pointing out the dangers of developing a property bubble and the growing potential for an economic crash. We warned of the dangers of over-reliance on taxes from the property sector. We warned of the over-dependency on the construction sector. We highlighted the danger of auction politics. We argued for the wealth of the Celtic Tiger to be socialised, to be used to build hospitals and schools and infrastructure and sustainable jobs. We were almost a lone political voice against the drive to reduce regulation across the economy. But we were right then, and we are right now. We put forward costed, alternative policies that are about fairness. Let all the parties in this state and across this island do the same. Our focus is on job creation, stimulating the economy, fair taxes, debt restructuring and protecting public services. It's about making the necessary deficit adjustment without harming families or frontline services. It's about asking the wealthiest to pay more. It's about cutting waste from public spending. The 1916 Rising belongs to the people of Ireland, to the progressive people of this island, not to any political party. So Sinn Féin has no wish to monopolise any of what's coming up. We see the proclamation as unfinished business. But let me be clear, we will not take lectures on 1916 from revisionists and other Slevini who abandoned its ideals decades ago. And while the North has been transformed in recent times, many issues remain outstanding. The British government is refusing to keep agreements made since 1998. And 16 years after the Good Friday Agreement, it has failed to implement important elements such as the Bill of Rights or Act na Gaeilge. When you take into account its unilateral decision to end the Western Part commitment to deal with the OTR issue, its refusal to establish an inquiry into the murder of human rights lawyer Pat Finucane, British government strategy is very actively undermining the political process. And encouraged by this, there has been an effort by some within the Unionist parties to reverse progress made since 1998. And this cannot be allowed. Issues like the past, which will challenge Republicans, issues like flags and parades, issues of identity have to be addressed. And the Haas proposals provide a clear way forward. The British government is yet to unambiguously sign up for these. And we're calling upon both governments, to make clear that they will support these propositions. They may delay change, but they cannot stop change. And the views, the ambitions, the goodwill of the vast majority of citizens, and the focus and the strategy of Sinn Féin is the guarantee that change is irreversible. We've also seen in every sector and every major institution of Irish life, in politics and planning and business and banking, in the churches and charities, in the justice system, in the Gardaí, we've seen scandals. And these scandals have their roots in the toxic political culture which arose from the counter-revolution that followed the 1916 period. A conservative elite, a domestic elite, replaced the old English elite. It was politically represented by Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil, often supported by Labour, and they developed and oversaw, after the idealism that preceded it, they oversaw this corrupt culture. Agus bhí seo, agus tá seo an mallard le cad atá I gceist le fear public tachas. Tá éileh mór an dathru mór in our shirki, agus caiimiid an process a chur le héile agus daoine a lán arai le héile ceann na athru mór mar seo a chur chun cín. Sinn Féin is a player, a major player in both states. We have policies, we have an expanding organisation, we have idealism, we have determination, we have commitment, and we have energy, and we transcend partition. This party is organised from the tip-top of Antrim down to the tip-bottom of Cork, from Wexford up to Donegal, right across every one of the 32 counties. Now that means that we must prepare for government. We must prepare to become a government of national unity and recovery. And why does Sinn Féin want to be in government? We want to change Ireland for the better. We want to tackle disadvantage, unemployment, inequality. We want to improve the quality of life and the standards of living for people across this island. We want our young people who are scattered throughout the globe to come back home here to jobs, to the place that they were born in. And we want particularly to help those people who are burdened down by the disastrous policies of austerity. We want to deliver here and the now on issues such as housing, health and jobs. And we want to end partition. But Sinn Féin will not do what the Labour Party has done. We will not give cover to the agenda of conservative parties repeating again the failed political history of this state over the past 80 years. We will not leave our principles outside the door. Their focus, the Labour Party's internal focus, is on Sinn Féin. You'd think their focus would be on the disastrous colonisation of Labour by Fine Gael, but no, it's on us. Labour Party don't get it. The contenders for the leadership don't get it. Labour, God's gift to Fine Gael, are so busy the Labour Party leadership are so busy debating whether or not they would allow Sinn Féin to be in government with them, that it hasn't dawned on them that after the next general election there may not be enough Labour TDs to be in government with anyone. Fine Gael also has betrayed the electorate. The Taoiseach promised a democratic revolution, but what he has done is regurgitated the same stale old politics of previous governments. We see how they appoint cronies to state boards. We see ministers favouring their own constituencies on funding. They even seek to control the banking inquiry by stopping it with government TDs and senators. They defend the indefensible in a failed effort to save ministers such as Alan Shotter. And they ignore, because they're bound to know it, they live in communities. They ignore the real hardship being endured by the most vulnerable citizens as a result of austerity. This isn't a democratic revolution. This is an act of subversion. What we're committed to is the radical Republican politics of Theobald Wolfe Tone brought to bear on the conditions of our time. We're about creating a new republic with new politics, as I've said before, that puts equality and fairness at the heart of how this country is governed. But let's leave here today, folks, more determined. We've seen what we can do. We've seen how people respond when they're given positive, clear alternatives to what the establishment are doing. We've seen the frustration and the anger and the desire. We've seen the great potential and the ambition and the possibilities there are for our people across the island of Ireland. So let's go from here today determined to finish off this work. Agus arai live, agus arai lin lehélia, goramila mila mai agot guliar.